the tickets were sold and it said sold out and they weren't sold out on MOOC?
No.
Or is there a time like you had an event and there was a technical hitch on sales?
Yes.
There was.
I can tell you about the worst one.
What was the worst one?
The most unexpected. I'm sure you guys heard of this event called Tusker Oktoberfest.
Yeah, sure did.
And it was Tusker.
International, yeah.
Right?
It wasn't.
No. This one that just happened the other day at Ngong Racecourse 2 years ago.
Yeah.
After Tusker has not done events for a long time, decided it's time we do an event. And EABL, when they go at something, they go hard. So in all the planning, we were just brought on board as a ticketing company. And in all the planning, they kept saying, 10,000 people are going to come and blah, blah, blah. And we're like, we hear that a lot. Everybody got 10,000 people coming. Yeah, prepare all your agents. How many agents do you have? We want 5 entrances. I'm like, all this sounds good. But, we're 3 weeks to the gig. You ain't sold no tickets. You got like 300 tickets. You ain't going to sell. So 2 weeks to the gig, something happens and they realize, okay, man, this thing isn't a joke. We actually need to prove that these guys are coming. So they call all their agencies, I think the whole country, and they tell them, guys,
It's on.
all communication from tomorrow switches to buy a ticket to this.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we literally moved from 300 tickets to 8,000, 9,000 tickets sold in like a week and a half.
Wow.
So already at this point, we're like, oh shit, this guys were serious.
Yeah.
So prepare for the door and do all these things. Now, the thing they hadn't told us is that part of what they were also running on the side is a campaign for some giveaways. So you could buy like a 6-pack online, get 2 tickets, and this and this and this. So ideally with the system...
And you weren't in on that?
We weren't in on that. So with the system, you need to prepare the system for... Actually, the day before the gig, we're going to need to send out 2,000 tickets to some people. So nobody prepares us. And also the day before the gig, knowing Kenyans, is when another 2,000 people realize, all my friends are going, so I need to buy. So these guys come on to buy tickets, then somebody from the agency comes on to send complimentaries. They load a list of 2,000 tickets, so the system is like, I'll do this later. And the person is like, maybe it didn't work, so loads it again, and then loads it again. So now there's a queue of 6,000 tickets waiting to go out, and there's a couple thousand trying to buy. We ended up with 15,000 people through the weekend. So there was still a gap of about 4,000 people trying to buy tickets at the same time that the system is queuing. So, systems are clever. The thing was like, hey, this feels stressful, and it went to sleep. And it just closed its eyes. So the system goes off at the midnight. So the gig was Saturday, Sunday, and on Saturday midnight, the system shut down completely. You can't buy a ticket. We can't scan a ticket. We can't access any part of the system. The system went to sleep. That's when you find out who the MD of EABL is, because they're on your phone suddenly being like, what's this I'm hearing? My daughter hasn't. So it was crazy. It was crazy for about 12 hours. Luckily,
12 hours? It's not like a 2-3 hour window.
No, that's not how systems work, unfortunately. So you need to bring it back to life, mouth to mouth, and then after that, and then be like, let me first remove these 6,000 things in the queue. And there's a lot of data in there. There's also other events. It's not the only event we're running. So it was insane. But by the time the first person was walking into the gig, which was 1:15 p.m. on Saturday, we were able to validate their ticket. We validated continuously until Sunday evening. Everybody got into the gig.
Did you experience any losses from that?
No. In fact, the EABL was super happy at the end of it. The thing worked out. We had actual numbers of everybody who was there. So the system, even at its deathbed, worked, which was the value. But that has been amazing. We've not done those things of sold out. There used to be a lot of issues of that in the past where guys would be like, the thing said sold out for hype. Our system doesn't know that. If you set 100 tickets, it's the system that will tell you when it's sold out. So it's been good building a transparent system for the organizer, for the audiences. Everybody just knows, and there's a lot of trust. What we've built is trust that those 8,000 people who'd bought tickets when the system went down weren't like, oh shit, we've been conned. Time to go on Twitter and bash MOOC. They came and the process worked. We have an amazing team on ground, all young guys who are just like called to this work.
Yeah.
They love to serve, and so they come and they make sure everybody is happy despite how angry and anxious they had to get in. And it's been good to see. So we've been able to do that. We did 4 straight days of ticketing in Uganda at Nyege Nyege.
Wow.
So they open on Thursday and they don't close until Monday, and essentially have people coming through all day. So we run shifts.
Do you think those kind of events will be possible here, those 4-day events?
Yeah. In fact, some of them want to come here. It's amazing when we go out there, then us, we're like, wow, and then they're like, if we can come to Kenya. Yeah. So I have had conversations of places like Kilifi and them who are trying to do that. It's a culture you grow. Everybody wants to start with a 4-day festival. You don't start like that. You start with the 1-day one that's hella packed till people want to spend the night. Then you move into spending the night. So Nyege Nyege is now at like year 8, I think, or 7. So, they have grown to the point where they can do 10,000 people, 4 days, day and night, continuous stages, security. Day and
What
night.
difference do you see when you're working in Uganda and Kenya? Like what?
Hey, us guys like to drink, Ugandans like to party.
There's a difference.
Ask us if there's a bar in Santaska and a boti, we're inside. We'll come, we'll sit down, we'll have fun. I can come with my sliders to the bar, and we'll all. Yeah, as long as my wallet has something. I think in Uganda, you come from work, you go to a spot, you have a drink. If you want to go clubbing, I go home, I shower, I change, I put on my evening drip, I come, I pay entrance at the door, I go to a spot. If I want a table, I buy bottles, we chill. Like, their culture is very different. So we both drink Monday to Monday, but when theirs is a high value drink. High value drinking.
And in terms of structures for like MOOC, in terms of structures and support?
Well, Kenya has better infrastructure when you think payments and that. Uganda is still a 90% cash market. So here, I know how transactions are working because we pay with M-Pesa, some will pay their card. In Uganda, we've had to set up physical ticketing locations like this, where then somebody comes to Maboneng with cash. I put in their details on the system, like they bought it on a phone. They give me their cash, then I send them a ticket to their phone, then I go to the bank and I quote. And we've had to start from there in order for 4 years, 5 years from now to have people trust us enough to just go on their phone and buy. They've not had a culture yet that has taught them about those. So that's been one of the major differences. That's just UG.
And Rwanda?
Rwanda isn't, well, Rwanda is also small. So the thing about Rwanda, actually, when we were going in there, the business that was taking us there was foreign business. So the NBA just launched tournaments there. And so they were looking for a way to do their ticketing and their sales and merchandise across the African region, which is why we were working with Kigali and the Kigali Arena to help them prepare for NBA. So Kigali is very correct. So for that tournament is why we had gone to set up there. And so our talks were with the government. So Rwanda is a very government-led country. And so our business there is with government as opposed to these other markets where it's with the people. So when you're dealing with government, if there's something we need, it will be provided. If we need to connect to mobile money or a certain bank, it's an email and then the thing would happen.
And interesting, when you were selling physical CDs, was there an artist like BIGPIN or anyone who said, no, I gave you 10 CDs, you sold
every day? That was the hugest issue for artists. I remember even like when we'd go to the States on tours, that was one of the huge expenses. It was like you're going to the States, but you've had to carry a bag with CDs, T-shirts and that. Then at every show, you're trying to be like, how many did I give Naomi to go and sell? Was it 100? How much did she give me back?
Also, there was always that conflict of interest.
That was the work of the artist to be able to manage all this and do the math, then figure out, and we never think about cost of production. So if I sell it for $10, I get the $10, it's all mine. I blow it. And so even when I come back, I don't even have money to go produce more CDs and more music. I blew all the channels. So I think technology has come to greatly improve everything.
I keep saying that every time. Technology has just changed the whole system. Everything's on media. you're like accessible. You have so much you can do. It's just what you do it and how you bring it out. That's what makes a difference. But now at least the power is literally
on the
with
on
you.
your phone, on the palm of your hand. It's on the palm of
Not
your hand.
someone, not someone to sort of dictate. Okay, maybe there's that definitely, but it's not fully. It's not that like then where you have to have a radio station playing a song for people to know it. Now you have iTunes.
You can push it yourself.
And that has really changed a lot in the globe. Even the new artists now that we listen to. Me, I go on iTunes, I go to like top 100. I'm like, wow, I would have never known these people.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that just whole form
Access.
Georgie, tell us. I want to know. Because I know you got a juicy story of Pin, like back in the USIU days. You were with all the females. Like, come on. I know you have a funny story. Tell me just one. One funny one. Come on. Don't be shy.
Story.
Anything. Go ahead. Anything. What happened? Because you were the event maker. Like, come on.
There's too many.
Too many. You don't want to tell on yourself, huh?
No, it's not. I'm worried about Pin here. This is his show. I don't want to be the guy who came to a guy's show and set him on fire.
Do it.
By all means necessary. It's okay. You're in a safe space.
Yeah,
Okay, let me tell you a crazy story. I remember once we were at Pin's house. As I said, this is where the industry would hang out.
Yeah.
We'd be there, and they'd be Nyashinsky and Nameless and 50 other people you don't know.
Yeah.
And we'd be chilling. I think it was a weekend, and somewhere at like 2 a.m., someone's phone disappeared. Right? In this house.
An industry guy.
Yeah, imagine someone's lyrics written down on someone's phone.
Oh no.
Disappear. And so then we're like, at what point did it disappear? How do we find this thingy? And we end up suspecting this guy, and Pin's brother, and I think Pin and one other person and I leave the house at 2 a.m., walk and go like into some slum.
What?
To go find this phone, all right? To go find this guy. And we're walking through.
It was when
and
this mobile phones had
just come out. And like, if this is 2:30, we're deep in some, I don't even know. I don't think I can go back that far now. I don't know why we were so brave, but we go there, we go to some bar. We find these guys in the bar. They tell us this guy was just here and he left. And then we walk around there like almost 2 hours on this spot trying to find the phone. Of course, we didn't get it. So we go back to the house, and later I remember the next day, this guy's being like, "What the hell are we doing in there?" Because if the guy had his squad, but it was the confidence of just like we're industry, we are the industry. You don't steal from BIGPIN. You do not steal from BIGPIN. We are going to teach you a lesson.
But it was those things remember even like how you grew up, it is more of a thing for the hood.
Yeah.
Even I remember when we used to go out, these were guys for South Sea where this is like our crew, so
you don't mess with our
Jake's,
crew,
we go to Jake's, and if there's any drama with you, like where guests for South Sea, I know guests for South Sea always like in the parking lot, them are just always a last 24/7. So 12 guys did you get? So that used to be the things. Those are for don't mess up with South Sea guys. But it was a whole thing even from like Zamani, where guys from Buru at the bar, there's some guys from Mandora, guys from K South, it's fine. So everyone had to have like a crew. Things like, me I have my people, I have my gang, this is how we roll. So don't mess with our gang. If you ever hear for example, if you mess like with one of us, just know that
you're messing with all of us. Yeah.
So that was the mentality then.
So you had the confidence.
It's like, this guy.
The confidence to go to the slum.
He was bigger than this. He was a bigger pin than this that time. We were confident that, in case anything happened, the Luo Flow Rap King would take care of us. he would wrap us out of any problems we'd find in that hood.
Wow.
Oh my gosh,
I think if we found that dude, he would have beaten all of us.
I know.
Just by himself. He would have just rocked all of us and left us there in his hood, toothless.
So you guys never found the phone?
Nah, maybe one of these new rappers is just living off of the lyrics that had been written on that. It was like an Ericsson.
Where do you see the future of Mook going?
Oh, that's a good question. Can I add something to that? Like, because how you were saying, people are able to download like music through it now. Like, do you see it being able to download like books or like workshops, like different things as well? Would you expand to that or not?
Okay, so I think the future of MOOC is riding on the future of the creative industry here.
Okay.
The future of the creative industry here is hella bright. 15, 16 years ago when I met these guys, they were the craziest artists I had ever heard of or seen. They were singing Swahili and Luo and mixing languages. And now the things you'll see are and it's because those people in their little hoods were able to see a Bigpin, a Nonini, a Juakali, a Matrax, a Habib come up, and once you've seen these people, you're like, oh, I can do that. So the fact that I remember I used to write like Kalamashaka lyrics in a book, right? So that has to teach you something. If you do it for 3-4 years, it hones some creativity in you. So right now we're at a point where we have more musicians than we can handle. We have more actors, more writers, more developers, more everything. It's a beautiful place to see and to witness. It's the same happening across East Africa. Maybe not as advanced because we're seen as the guys who are like the most cosmopolitan and that. But when you go down into the hoods in the different countries, the same exact thing is happening. The chameleon and the diamond, their effects are going down. To thingy. So right now we're at 5,000 creatives who are using the system. I see us going very rapidly in the next 5 years to 10 times that. I see us being able to move. So we've spent the last 10 years living in the digital machine that was built by social media, which was about us accumulating followers. And so we've gotten to millions, 2 millions, we have millions of followers everywhere. Now we need to convert followers to consumers because now we need to eat. So we're going to spend the next 5 years converting 1 million followers per artist into 1 million consumers per artist. And so if we look at a 10-12-year vision as opposed to a 2-3-year vision, MOOC will be the African Spotify, but it will also be the African YouTube, because then the artist who's trying to monetize their music is also trying to monetize their video, is also trying to monetize this podcast, is also then trying to shoot some content on the side that will go and support this. And so if my subscriber can access all this in one place as opposed to 7 apps, that would be amazing. So us and our local team of developers are trying to build around that thinking, that if you took podcasts, video and audio
and put it in one,
put it into one platform and allowed the artist or the creator who's doing it to eat regularly, not every month or every 3 months. If I can give you a little money every day or every week, way better than having to wait 3 months or 6 months. And so we are heads down trying to build that. Just because when we look 10 years ahead, I mean, Instagram, Facebook are 15 years old. And so if we have the energy now to say we'll spend 10 years building a platform that can do X, Y, and Z, we'll be having conversations here about billions. We want to talk about billions. But
that's what's important.
But it's very bright just based on the people who we look at who are the creatives. Those are our clients. And our clients are getting better at what they do. So if we can just get better at what we're doing, it's beautiful.
It's a very good space, and it's very artist friendly. So
which is what, like, when we're talking about the labels,
that was the driving factor.
It's seeing how much, I mean, we can't live a day without hearing music or a sound or something. How much it's ingrained in our life compared to how much goes back to the artist or the creators at multiple levels. It takes a lot of people to make this come to life, and we like it, we consume it, but how then do we all get to eat? And so realizing that the structures that are there you're taught to go and get to 1 million views on YouTube to get a fraction of what it costs you to reach that million views in production. So how do we start to look at the environment around us and build solutions for here, where if what you can get is 1,000 views, how do I make those 1,000 views count? So that then you can use some of that earnings to build up to 2,000 views on your next one. So there's a need for us to start to build. And when we set up MOOC, we were trying to sell something. So we were also a seller, and realizing that the platforms out there, they were just trying to cool us. It's like if I needed to give someone 40% of my revenue, you know,
what am I making?
What am I making?
Get artists like to see that from you see how, like you said, how do I get like an artist? How do you get artists to come and say, okay, listen, this makes more sense. This is how this works, and they're getting the money more directly, and you're looking for this kind of target audience, you know, as opposed to, because they're always in this, especially like Kenyan artists, it's like, if it's already something which they don't understand and they don't know about,
they're very skeptical. Yeah. That's a good question. How did you draw in artists to trust you? What created integrity in MOOC?
One, in integrity is part of us. So the way we've built the system is very transparent. So there's some things you have to ingrain you put it into the thing. So when we built the system, the idea was transparency, integrity, making sure that there's a thing called a data handshake, which is everything I know, I'll tell you, right? So if this is your customer, it's important you know who your customer is, because I'm trying to help you build a relationship with your customer. A lot of platforms won't tell you who your customer is. They'll just be like, you made a sale. Here is your chums. You want the chums? I've taken my 30% and given
That's
you.
yours.
So once you start to open up new lines of trust through, I give you the data, I show you in real time. Here is 200 bob that was put in your account. If you want it today, click here. It comes out. If you want it to accumulate, leave it there. And the word of mouth thing has really helped. Up until 2018, we hadn't spent a single shilling on marketing.
That's such a good. You've always been a guy for. I think from how now like I'm looking at like your business mind frame. You've always been a guy for word of mouth. You never full-blown.
Because it's like, let the business sell itself.
So let the first artist use it, get money, then go and tell her two friends, guys. Actually, you know, MOOC. So actually, after my own day, it moved to Riga, it moved to, you know, other people in her circle, and then it goes like that. So it's not really us coming to tell you, trust us. It's someone else who's used the platform saying, yo, this guy's a dope, trust.
And as long as you can back it up, hey,
So just keeping it clean. I think a lot of us are, because we're not all trying to eat at the same time, there's always one guy trying to eat more than the rest, it becomes difficult to be transparent. But once you build a thing where it's like, I don't charge you nothing to put your music on the system, I don't charge you nothing to help promote your music, where I have the resources to, when you make a little money, break me off a little something, and I don't want the biggest share, I don't want half, you know, give me a little. I think for music we're at 15% right now, so give me 15%, and then everything else is yours immediately.
All the people who like upload on, so there's a lesser percent.
As it should be.
So I see a future where the artists coming will be able to make money off their music without having to get to the point where they've now got into corporate, and then that's where some chums come, or they've come into elections. I remember we ate a lot of election money, you know. This guy was an election hero, okay? If you just go back, they loved this guy. During every election, we'd have a new Subaru. It was beautiful. I'm telling you, listen, guys, we gotta speak the truth. You know, Pin would buy a new Subaru. Every election, he'd buy a new Subaru. You know, louder, brighter, more sounds, because that's the only time as an artist you'd see crazy money. But if he was used to seeing that kind of money every month, because my music is hot every month, not just during that time, then you even learn how to better manage your finances and that.
Better.
Now you've just been there hoping for chums, you get a little, then one day someone hits you with like 2 million, you're like, jeez, Subaru. But No, I think just being able to see guys who, if you're hot today, you can make some money today.
Yeah.
It will motivate you to make another song, and you'll make more money out of that one, and you keep going. So the industry is definitely moving that way. The fans the fans now are woke. The fans are woke, so even them, they know this platform doesn't pay artists, but this one does.
And it's nice that fans actually want to see their artists getting back.
Because one of the biggest complaints used to be we don't get artists to have like an interaction with the fans on a closer level. You know, so this one is like more like, I feel like it gives a direct feed.
Yes.
It's like I'm talking, it's like I'm over the counter, but in a different platform.
No, the artists, I mean, the fans are really supporting. One of the things during the pandemic that we launched, so the payment system that MOOC uses for ticketing is something we built ourselves, just because the other guys were sharks, right? So we ended up building our own MOOC collection system. So now, when the pandemic hit and we weren't doing ticketing, one of the things we did was open up that system to the creatives who use our platform to just get payment links. So what you'd be able to do is, like now on this podcast, in the description, we'd add a link, a checkout link. And so then we tell the fans, if you guys like this show and you'd like to support us, just click this link and you'll be so surprised that there's people. I have seen a single transaction to a YouTube video of $300.
Wow.
Right? I've seen another one of like, I think $750 or something like that. So there are many people who will come and give you a 50 bob or 100 bob because it's like, I like this. Hey, does it work? But then there's that guy who will come and give you. But there's that guy who will watch the show and be like, I love this, and I'm gonna give you $2,000. I'm gonna give you, and so just even understanding who your audience are is beautiful. So for us, it's also been, how do we make sure we help you tap into all the avenues that you as a creator can collect MOOC from your audience? And how do we make sure that those things are easy, they're fast, they work, and you're not now over there being like, man, I did this, but I wasn't able to. How do we help to crack that? And we need to do it collectively. I'm not saying I have all the solutions, but I've seen a couple of things, and we sit a lot with people. So we're those guys who don't build alone. I like to sit, be like, what are you trying to do? How can we think? Do you guys think this streaming can work? So it's actually some artists who came and told us, why am I putting videos on YouTube
when I don't?
Why can't you give me the same model where you have, where even if people pay me $5 bob to watch my video,
but at least
I know if I get to 5,000 people, I have, I have some chums in my pocket to say at least this video paid off. So when the artist is thinking like that and they know their audience and we can then work together to reach that, then we'll find the next thing to unlock, and then we'll just keep going like that. So following the dots.
That is so nice. So that's what keeps on inspiring you and motivating you, is how to keep the artists going. It's a whole collective.
The Rosso, we call him the Rosso.
The Rosso. I have had many names in the years.
But it's amazing that you came up with that platform, and it's inspiring to see that people thinking about the space, and the sometimes someone can see the gap and then use it to only their advantage. But it's nice that you saw the gap and you actually trying to make everyone eat collectively.
That's
and it's inspiring to see, and we wish you the best.
Thank you.
And we claim your 10-year vision from
Hallelujah.
Claim it.
Hallelujah.
Okay, it is yours.
Amen.
It's definitely what we do.
Preach.
For sure.
Say it twice.
Wow,
No, and thank you guys for what you're doing. I mean, without this, people don't know the stories. People don't understand the greatness of multiple years in the industry for people like Pin.
And connect those dots. It takes a lot just to understand.
And it's good for these relationships that you keep, so you keep on going and exchanging ideas and coming up with different ways of doing things.
I feel like
even when I started BigPinsradius, as I told you, it's just like I have so many people and so many, like I know so much, but on a very, like I know so many people.
Basic
stories. On a very basic, and they sorry, as I said before, I don't know how to talk. So it's like, but I have so many things which I'd like to share and say, and so even this idea, before I started, I was telling him, Porgie, like I want to start like a podcast. He's like, that's a good thing, that's something should be work with. Like I want to talk about this because I feel like I know so many people, I know good people, I know there's so much is working, but there's no like people don't get to share it and know. So it's like, you know what, let me start with something which I relate to, with people who I relate to around my radius. People who so everyone can just understand how it works, how people working on behind the scenes. Because it's very interesting when I hear different stories from different perspectives.
Are you a family man, Porgie?
What does that mean? Do I look at families with envy? Do I come from a family?
You come from a family.
I come from a family.
Are you married?
I'm not married yet.
Are you single?
I am.
He's taken, ladies. He's taken.
Thank you. Yeah, it's like,
Thank you so much, Porgie.
Thank you.
No, thank you for having me. Bless you, man. Bless you.
Cheers to an episode. Good one, guys.
Cheers.
Yay.
Cheers. Thanks, Porgie.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bigpins Radius.